should be live.
You got your tea?
Girl, I don't got no tea.
Okay, come on. Let's just go. Let's just go.
Yeah, we are live. And I just want
Sorry.
yeah, we're live, girl. We're live.
Oh
I just
my
want to make
goodness.
sure I have our notes.
Let's get it. I didn't know. What's up? It's the live herbal tea Thursday of 2023, baby.
Is this the last one? This is the last one.
Last one. This the last one. Come on.
This is the last one for the year.
Do you, anything? No, nothing.
Yeah, I got some water.
Come on, let's
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
I'm not just out here thirsty.
And that's a beautiful thing,
right? Do we want to try to get Instagram up on this?
If you want to, I can't. As a guest, it said I'm only allowed to upload 2.
What?
As a guest, I can only add 2 destinations.
That's interesting. I did not expect that.
I guess because I'm a guest, and can't I be out there flourishing with a whole bunch of things? I'm not the host.
I'm gonna contact them and ask them.
But you can try it out. Yo!
Oh, I can't see the comments. Hold on. Where am I going?
Let's get it.
Are there any comments? There's no comments.
I don't think so. I don't think
there's comments.
I just went and shipped over there just in case somebody shows up.
Okay.
Man, so first of all, hold up.
Yeah.
It's the last Thursday of 2023. Herbal Tea Thursdays. And we are talking curbing anxiety. Let's just start with each other. For New Year, but still, let's just think about this year with even just having anxiety about creating content and putting ourselves out there and using our voice and starting podcasts this year and just doing lives. Hello, what are we doing right now? doing lives. Let's first start with ourselves. This is crazy. Just for us to be jumping on here every Thursday, being consistent. Not quite always on the time we wanted to align it, but we've shown up every Thursday since we said we were going to do this, and we've been doing it. I think it's a beautiful thing that we're able to do it together, so it doesn't allow us to cancel on ourselves. When you have somebody you have to do it with, you kind of have to show up, not just for you, but show up for them too. So I think that's beautiful. Number 1. Number 2, I'm just proud of us for just doing it. Just getting out here and being ready to make something happen and talking about whatever we're going to talk about on a Thursday. And seeing people show up, people engage, but most importantly, see us show up for each other. And I think that's what it kind of boils down to it. And then even starting this live late and both of us experiencing some type of anxiety just to get this started.
Just to get it going.
Think about it. I was sitting here and I was just looking calm. We just wait. It's going to happen, whatever it is. And it came to mind what we came up with our accountability group. And it's what? Keep it simple, sis. So whenever we go live is when we're going to go live. Whatever we're going to talk about is whatever we're going to talk about. As long as we're here and we're here. And I'm just grateful that we're here and we're here together. So I just wanted to start us off with that.
I hear that. How many weeks have we been doing this?
I don't even know.
How many? I've got to look quickly on YouTube. How many lives do we have here? We got one.
Well, you can't even go off of YouTube because we first did it on Instagram.
Right.
Our first one was on Instagram before we came to YouTube. So you have to do the week before that. You seeing it?
Yeah. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 9, 10. Yo, 10 times, Bridget. 10 times. 10? Including Instagram.
10?
Yeah.
Look at us in the double digits.
You got to give me air high 10. Bam.
Let's do it.
I'm so for it. I'm so for it. So we usually
you pulling up, you got a card to pull or no? No card to pull. We not. Ooh, so we really are going
studio.
Studio.
My new studio.
Hey, congratulations!
I got paint all all over my swag.
Congratulations on your studio. That's how you end the year. That's how you end it. Bring that little plastic thing you got over there back to the camera. Yes.
Right?
Well, since we don't have a car, which is cool, we already started a little late. I'm gonna hit you with my tea bag, and it says a garden is a delight to the eye and a solace for the soul.
I like that. A garden is a delight for the eye and a what for the soul?
A solace.
A solace for the soul. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I was thinking we don't have a card, but I was thinking, in addition to your tea message, I was thinking if there was a card that was going to be pulled, it would probably be about gratitude. And you started off just talking about like how far we've come and just even the anxiety to put this together, because today's just been a day, right? Like we've both been on the road. We've both been busy today. And even yesterday that we did not get a chance to do what we typically do, to get together and put our great minds together and kind of like talk about this. But we did have a concept last week. So at least we were able to like fly. But I am so grateful for 2023.
Me too. The evolution was real. Like, had I known who I was going to show up as towards the end of this year, at the beginning of this year, like, if somebody would have told me, I wouldn't have been like, nah, no way. How is it going to happen? I would have asked how. How is it going to happen? I would have probably been in like disbelief. But
how I'm just grateful. I would have been like, how sway?
Exactly.
When you say evolution, like we've totally leveled up. Like there's don't get me wrong, there's other areas that I'd like to like improve on naturally. But even just here on YouTube, we've done 10 lives. That means 9 lives on YouTube. That's 9 weeks.
Say that, Shireen.
Wait, well, once we went live twice in a week.
We did.
It's still 9 weeks
of Thanksgiving. But that still ended up being 10, right? You still counted that, right?
Yeah. We're counting it. But like, that's still 9 weeks. That's still 10 weeks, like that we have done Herbal Thursdays. I'm so grateful for our level up. I mean, we have an accountability group within our group. And we were just saying, I think yesterday, how much we've grown within less than 6 months. Jovonnie, I'm so excited for 2024.
You and me both, Shireen. You and me both.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like,
and I think just to keep it simple, I think what excites me the most is just excited just to be alive and just keep living on purpose for a purpose and making every single day intentional for whatever it is. If it's an intentional rest day, then it's an intentional rest day. If it's a day to, like you said, get in the studio and do what you do, or, record, put your voice out there and record something of purpose. Like, I just feel like just living. I went to see my student today. I did a home visit with my student today, and I asked her, like, what was she looking forward to in 2024? And she just kind of thought about it for a little while. And then I remember when before we left school, I asked them to tell me one thing they were grateful for, and she was grateful for life. So I was like, just to keep living. And she was like, yeah, just to keep living. And I was just like, I'm with that. I think, and kind of getting into the topic, I think sometimes we look forward to accomplishing all of these goals that we want to have set, and we want to become all of these different versions of ourselves in 2024 or the new year, when they think about this new year, new me type vibe that people bring in just because it's a new calendar. And I think we sometimes lose focus of what's most important, and that's just being you today, being alive and being intentional on whoever it is that you want to show up as today. Kind of went into what we talked about last week. It's just how you show up. Who you were yesterday is probably totally different than who you are today based on the experiences you experienced on yesterday. So I think that right there just kind of set the tone before we even got into this live, is just being excited about being alive in 2024.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, just to end that off, and then we can segue into our topic. Today, my brother's mom messaged me on Facebook. And because I'm in the studio, I'm like all over Facebook Marketplace, right? And so she sends me a message like, "How are you doing today?" And I'm like, "I'm good." But when I really look at it, the message came in at like 2 a.m. And I've been up until like 4 a.m. for like the last 2 days. And so I was thinking, she's 2 hours behind me. I was thinking, why is she up? Like, I seen it this morning. And then I said, "I'm good. How are you doing?" And she said, "I'm just happy to be alive and like living life." And I thought, that's so, like, it's a great response, but it's I wasn't expecting that response, only to find out it's not even her. It's somebody who copied her account. And that's how they respond. Yeah, because as the conversation progressed, it got weird. And I'm like, this doesn't sound like her. And then I call her and I couldn't get a hold of her. So I was just like, listen, somebody go check on her, please. So, but
it was, do you know if she's okay yet?
I haven't reached her up to now. I'm trying.
That is horrible. Well, hopefully you can follow back up and check to make sure.
Yeah, I gotta get off this line. What am I doing? No. I called my brother that lives out there, and I was like, this just happened. And he's like, "Oh yeah, the account," like he reported the account and stuff like that. So he's like, "Oh, she's fine. She called me," or what. I tried. I was like, I'm getting these weird responses. But the first thing that made me go, was that response. I'm just so happy to be living. And my response to that was like, I'm so happy that you're so happy.
Girl, that would have made me think, like, once you said you kept going and you didn't hear from her, I was like, well, is she really still living? Like, I just would have been like,
Morbid. Bring it back. Bring it back to
I'm
Morbid.
Just saying. I was just like,
it made me call people and say, can somebody please go and check? Yeah. Okay. So
shout out. Okay, Crystal. Thank you. We appreciate you.
What'd she say?
We appreciate you. Hey, Cassandra. Look at my student. I was just telling you.
Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Crystal.
I just was telling you about my students, and I was talking about one of my 7th graders. And then look at my student, Cassandra, coming on through. Cassandra and Crystal. I'm with it. I love y'all. Thank y'all for showing up to our live the last Thursday of
the year.
Yep. Yes. And we're talking anxiety. We are talking anxiety today. I don't know. What do you think causes the most anxiety? Do you think it's like your own expectations? Do you think it's pressure? What do you feel like is the thing that really puts the A in anxiety?
I think that as people roll through the last quarter of the year that's ending, that's when they start thinking back on all the things that they did not accomplish, whether it's financially, whether it is, they don't have to be business owners, whether it's a personal goal, such as like losing weight or stopping people pleasing or whatever the goal was, or something that they just wanted to make a change in, whether, whatever it is. I think that's when the anxiety starts to creep up. And then as the new year comes, then comes like, let's set some resolutions. It's kind of like Monday, or it's kind of like tomorrow, right? And tomorrow never reaches. So I feel like as it starts to kind of creep and the new year kicks in, I even think resolutions is triggering. I don't set resolutions, but I think that's something. What do you think?
I think you're right with the resolutions. I think the resolutions add pressure, but I'm with Crystal. Expectations. I think expectations is the heighten for anxiety, because it starts with self. You have to choose to want to live up to other people's expectation, or people please, or apply that pressure to be who it is that they want you to be, or who, or even to perform the way that they want you to perform. And I say that for like my student, you think about teachers, you think about parents, you think about your grades, that's their real job. So I feel like pressure is one thing, but it's the expectation first. And I think expectations, and then sometimes them not being realistic expectations are what causes, I think, the most anxiety.
I would think that maybe it's not necessarily that it's not realistic expectations, but I think that it's more about not setting up the steps to meet those expectations.
So
The
planning.
yeah, so like, yeah, that plan, right? Because that expectation, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds. It's realistic, right? It's just like, so what are you gonna do every day or every week or every month to meet that? So I think it's that lack of planning. That in
Goal setting is real. Goal setting is real.
Yeah.
Goal setting is real.
So I just want to, before we go too deep, I just want to mention something. So as I mentioned, I'm in the studio, but like I don't have internet in the studio. So I'm streaming off of my phone. So if I just noticed like my Wi-Fi come up on my screen and it went like really low, I also kind of tucked into one of the rooms just so I could get a background of some sort that wasn't like really yellow. So if it disconnects, I'll probably rejoin on my phone. But FYI.
So this is your way of planning. You're planning now in the event that you leave the live what you're planning to do next in order to still be with us live in the studio.
Yeah, live from the studio, live and direct from the studio. Absolutely. And I plan to take the call here, but I couldn't get the internet today, so they plan to come tomorrow morning. So anyhow, let's get back into it. Yeah,
I got you. So that's what I was saying, planning, setting up realistic expectations, but having a realistic plan in place to meet those said goals or expectations that you have for yourself. So I like that. I like it. So go ahead. So I don't want to go too deep. What you thinking? And we talked about it last week when it came to mindset. We said progress over perfection. So even when you're setting up these goals for yourself and you're creating a realistic plan to achieve them, again, the goal isn't for you to be perfect, but just to progress, just to continue to get better, just to continue to evolve, but not be this perfect person. Is what's key. If not, you're going to add that additional stress that's unnecessary, as well as that anxiety.
I think if we also look at it, I think outer factors play a role in it, depending on where you are with your own mindset. So I think that if you're looking at what everybody's doing on social media, if you're looking at other people's progress, especially if they have like similar things that you want to accomplish, wherever you are on your journey, that kind of your mind starts playing games with you, because now you kind of get into that I don't want to say habit, but you start watching what other people are doing and then judging yourself probably a little too harshly, because everyone's journey is different. But I definitely think that those things feed into
play a role. I agree wholeheartedly. And I think with social media and this like immediate exposure to so many different people, you're constantly being able to see where everybody else is and gauge where it is that you want to go. I feel like people miss the opportunity that it takes time to get to certain achievement goals or milestones that are met. And you automatically see someone on social media or YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you're like, wow, they have this. I want this right now. And they're saying all I have to do is X, Y, Z. And you feel like you're going to do X, Y, Z, and you're going to immediately get there. You're going to get this immediate gratification of getting to this goal. And it's like, no, what you didn't see is it took them 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years to get where they are. You didn't get to see the ups and downs. You didn't get to see them building from a foundation. And I think once people just truly embrace where they are and be able to just be grateful for the progress that they made and the efforts that they're putting in every single day, is going to reward you for where it is that you're trying to go. Effort over excuses all day, but don't ever feel like when you let off of the gas and you're not being consistent, like they always say, consistency is the cheat code. If you're going to be consistent, you're going to reach where it is that you're trying to go. You're probably going to surpass that. And as you continue to go, you're going to probably go to places you never even thought you would even get to just because you are being consistent and you're continuing to push forward. And you're being intentional about being intentional when it comes to your journey and not trying to align it with someone else. And I think that is what's key. And I talked about that yesterday on Sports Sense Live, was just showing up unapologetically you every single day. And when you do that, there's no way that you can be disappointed in yourself, because you're showing up as you, and you're doing what it is that you can do or what you're choosing to do. And that's what's going to best serve you.
I think that we tend to get in these conversations, and I think that we always end up going back one step, because that step before is your mindset, right? So yes, to show up consistently every day, and yes, you're going to get better, and yes, you're going to surpass, but like your mindset has to be in the right place in order to do that. So yes, you might believe in yourself, and yes, you're dreaming about all the things that you want, but excuse me, sorry, if you are stuck in imposter syndrome, or you haven't surpassed how to cope with that, then you might struggle with being consistent, right? And I definitely face that for sure when it comes to like Instagram, right? Even just us, if you don't have the right support system, we have an accountability group, and our accountability group has allowed us to propel by like 10 on like our progress, right? Like well past 10 on our progress every single week, every single day. We are highly active in that. But when you lack that, or you don't have that, or you're still looking for that, or you're not even ready to talk to others about what you're going through, what you're doing, you haven't found your circle. When you haven't found that circle, mindset, your mindset or someone's mindset might have them struggling before they can even be consistent. Unless now other people just have that drive, they can just go. But I can tell you, like, if we're specifically talking about being an entrepreneur, it's so different from me being in the corporate industry. And in corporate, it took me a while to get there with corporate as well, because I don't have a degree, and I felt like that's what I needed. But like I got there, I passed it. Then when I started as an entrepreneur, I was going, and then I started to second guess. So it was like 2 steps forward and then like 10 steps back, 1 step forward and 10 steps back. But having this right support, and then really zoning into like the right coaching for me. I'm not saying not everybody needs coaching, and the right tactics for me personally. That is what has helped me to strengthen my mindset, or change the narrative that I tell myself. Right.
I think that's powerful, because I think mindset is key. And we talked about having a resilient mindset last week, but having a growth mindset. You're not there yet. And it's so powerful, the words that you speak over yourself, over your business, over your intentions, over your aspirations, over your desires. But it's knowing that it's possible. And whenever you stop believing that it's possible, and you stop putting in the effort behind the things that you say you want, you're never going to see that outcome that you're expecting. It's at that point, it then becomes just a wish, and it's not something that you're actually wanting to see be into fruition, because you're not providing any type of effort to go along with it. So how do you manage anxiety, Shireen? Like, even you talked about it in business, you talked about it in corporate, but how do you actually manage?
I break things. No, just joking.
I mean, that's possible. I mean, I've seen those people with the axle things.
Yeah.
You go out with your girls and you feeling all like overwhelmed.
Nah, that's not me. I want to. Yeah, no, that's not me. I want to try those things, but that's not me.
So you break things this week. Last week you were setting things on fire. Okay, we're really getting to know you. Go ahead, Shireen.
That's so not me. Talk a lot of shit when I'm ready, but there are things that I do for myself. Like, I think it's about knowing yourself. For me, meditating works, right? For me, kind of meditating on what I want. I'm very spiritual, so kind of tapping into myself, tapping into that higher being. That's where I put focus on. And then other strategies or tactics is like affirmations and journaling. I have been an avid journaler since I was a young child. So journaling is nothing new to me. I usually have multiple books. But even when I was journaling, I didn't even know the strength in that pen to paper. But now, like I'm an adult, I'm a bit more conscious and aware of what I do and why I do what I do. Um, I've been manifesting my whole life and didn't know I was manifesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those things keep me on the up and up. And then when I forget, because maybe I get distracted with like life, because life be life in, there are other things. Yeah, there are other things that I do that remind me how great things can be, right? So like when I put on a certain type of music, my family's from Trinidad. So when I listen to soca, it reminds me, my spirit gets, woo, we're ready to go. And as a child, if I talk about my inner child, as a child, I've danced. I did a lot of Afro-Caribbean dancing, ballet, jazz, blah, 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 blah. But like that dancing is so free, it reminds me of what's great. And then it's like centering. Or as an adult, I'm also a water baby. I was born in July, I'm a summer baby. I spend a lot of time by the lake, right? Or by the water. That is my grounding factor for me, or my element. I listen to water to go to sleep. Like those, I need to be in nature. Okay. Right. So when I'm feeding myself with like being creative and being in these elements, it kind of grounds me and reminds me what I need to do. And then like the affirmations and everything come back into it. And what about yourself?
I love it. I love it. Crystal said that she loves journaling too. I've only done it a few times. I haven't really like been consistent with journaling. But when I have done it, it felt good to do it. It felt good to get it all out there. And then she also said, without a healthy mindset, accomplishing goals and facing challenges would be difficult. It's really hard to overcome things that you were created to overcome if you don't have that mindset. If that mindset isn't where it needs to be, because that's where you're gonna fail if you fail to have the right mindset to overcome. So I agree with that. I think for me, initially with managing anxiety, is first practicing stillness. I'm not like a very impulsive reactor. I like to really just be still, probably do some deep breathing, and really try to better understand why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling and what has me triggered the way I am. So I think I'm a stillness type of person. And then my stillness might roll into going to sleep and taking a nap. It might go into a guided meditation. I don't do well with just guiding myself in a meditation. I'd have to play a guided meditation. So that way I can start channeling my focus and thoughts onto the words, my body, the tension, where it is in my body. So that's a way that I kind of go through with anxiety. And then also I like to talk it out. I like to be able to hear other perspectives on where I'm coming from, to make sure that realistically where I'm coming from is a good place, a healthy place, or am I biased, or am I taking something personal? And I think we talked about that another time. One of those agreements in life is to never take anything personally. So if I'm in a place where my anxiety has been triggered because I now took something personal, I need to figure out how do I release that and let that go, because that doesn't serve me. I think those are some of the main ways. And I dance too. So I've been dancing since before I was 2 as well. So tap, jazz, ballet, lyrical, modern, hip hop. And I didn't realize.
I need to get together, Jovonnie.
I didn't realize how valuable it was to my mental and emotional health as well as my physical health. I saw it as, physically moving, but doing some of those disciplines of dance and just really moving to certain lyrics with purpose and attention, it's a different feeling. So if I had a rough day at school, if I was having, tension with family, going to dance just felt good and it felt better. And, people say leave it on the floor, but it was just something about being with other people who love dance and turning the music on and feeling that beat through your body and really just leaving that choreography out there and putting everything you have, that energy behind it all and moving your body to it. It was just a different form of connection. And had I known how valuable that connection was at a younger age, then I could probably be even more of a connected and rooted person today. And I think it took a while to get to where I am now with connecting with myself and loving myself and being aware of myself. But I love the fact that I can look back on it and see how valuable it still was, because you can't take that value away, no matter what timeline or time frame the awareness came about. So I would say that's kind of how I go about managing anxiety.
I think that there's always going to be a journey. So, comment you made a little bit before about if we don't, I don't actually remember it that well at this moment, but you mentioned something about like we'll kind of fail to meet our whatever. I can't remember if you remember what you just said. I didn't even capture it good because it's been a bit of time. But I think what I was going to come back to is the journey. It's not even that if your mindset's not right, you're going to fail to get there. I think that it's accepting your journey. So even you say now that it took a while for you to get to where you are, I do believe that everything happens when it's supposed to happen. So I don't believe that it was supposed to happen, let's say 10 years ago. I don't know when it started, but I'm just saying that journey is a part of your story. It's a part of your growth. It's a part of everyone's growth. So we have to go through that journey to get where we need to get, right? So I don't dismiss the journey at all. I don't
Nowhere near it.
Yeah, I don't think that it's a matter of failure if the mindset's not in the right place. Like it's a matter of like delayed gratification or delayed meeting what you want to meet. Like you're still going to get things, but when you're positive, but then the minute you have like this self-doubt or you're kind of working against yourself, it's just your journey to learn
It
how to
is.
get there, right? So
And I love it. I mean, I think that's why it's gonna be on my merch, my healing, my journey. I absolutely love just embracing the journey for what it is. Even when, like I said, recognizing when in the journey that there was some type of value, some type of connection that I now realize when I'm aware of it in that moment. And I think that's beautiful. Even when thinking about books, like books that I've read. I read it then during a certain time for whatever reason. As I continue to go through life while life is life, and you still can pull certain nuggets and certain things that book brought out that you're like, oh, I didn't even realize it until now. This is, what it really meant. This has so much more meaning to me now versus just words on a page. So I wholeheartedly agree on your journey is yours, and you want to own it and you want to love it unapologetically. I just feel like some people have to really embrace it. And I think some people don't really want to embrace their journey because of guilt, shame, awkwardness, uncomfortability. And that's okay too, because that's still a part of your journey. And I'm all for it. But I just wanted to see how you felt about how you actually, manage anxiety yourself when it came to when it arises, because we're talking about curbing anxiety going into the new year. But I think one of the big pieces that we kind of hit, but we didn't say it, was having self-compassion. And I think that's what it all boils down to, is having compassion for yourself. Whether you feel like you're having a good day, a bad day, you showed up your true self, or you kind of hesitated on who it was, what you did. I think self-compassion is key when it comes to facing anxiety, managing anxiety, coping with anxiety. It's still just having that compassion for yourself.
yeah, I think that when the new year starts, as you're saying, have compassion for yourself. But like, I want to say, like you had said before about setting realistic goals, don't look at things as resolutions. Most people when they set that resolution to lose weight and they get back in the gym. We already know this, like the gyms get packed probably this week and like next week, right? And like probably for the next 2 weeks. So maybe the first 3 weeks of January, you know, it's packed and then it starts trickling off, right? So I feel like if you're setting things that are a bit more, not necessarily resolutions, but if you're implementing things that are more aligned to like a lifestyle change that you want to make, that's when things will become more achievable, because it's not like this temporary fix. It's not like I'm going to juice for the next month, even though I'll be on that shit. But like, but then that's where you find yourself kind of like dropping off or like not being able to stick to it, right? Because it's like,
unless you plan and you say, I'm going to juice every Sunday and every Wednesday, and it can happen though.
Yeah,
like
but
you said before, you're planning it out. You're setting realistic goals, but you have a plan in place to make sure you achieve it. So you
could juice, and then you could plan, you could have it all juiced up, and then, you know, you get busy and then
have it all juiced up.
Yeah, you can have it all juiced up and ready to go. You could have like all the bottles, all the flavors. But when you go back to your statement of compassion, if you do slip in this new lifestyle that you're trying to implement, or while you're introducing these lifestyle changes, you're not as like, oh damn, I got to start all over again on Monday. And tonight we go out and we have that steak, right? Just eat the steak. Eat the steak, let it be that meal, enjoy it, as you would say, enjoy that, or set yourself up for, you know, the people call it like a cheat meal or whatever, but like,
I can't stand when they say that. Because I mean, I feel like for me, it's all about mindful eating. So if you want to have a steak, have a steak. If you want to juice, like that's okay. Like it's still a way that you're either leaning into your hunger cues, as long as you know it's not emotional eating. And if it is emotional, you start becoming aware of what your trigger was. But it's not even, I don't even like the cheat. I like treat. Like every meal you eat should be a treat to yourself, because it should be nourishing to your body, your soul, or even just the vibe you vibing with. If you want that cheesecake, like at the end of the day, or that pecan pie, like at the end of the day, it's whatever it is that you want to eat. It's not like, oh, I failed. No, there's no failure in how you take care of yourself. And eating is a part of how you nourish yourself and you give your body the fuel it needs to move and groove. So I'm with you all the way. Don't get down and out because you want to eat more fruits and vegetables. Continue to eat fruits and vegetables. The next meal you have, make it a meal that has some vegetables in it, or
but not just to zone in on meals, like whatever that is, whatever it is that you're trying to introduce.
If you say, I want to walk every day, and you miss a day of walking, guess what? You probably still walked around your house. You still moved your body. Be grateful in that. Be grateful that your body is still moving, even though you didn't move it as much as you wanted to. So that goes right back to that self-compassion that you need to have for yourself, even when you don't reach the highest mark that you set for yourself, still being able to show yourself gratitude for what it is that you do have and what you're able to still accomplish. So I'm with you on that. I just went with that because you said you was getting all juiced up, and I'm all about an empowered plate. So I was about to eat up that delicious dialogue as soon as you threw it out there. But no matter what the intention is that you have for yourself, no matter how high you set the bar, at the end of the day, just know that you should still be grateful. For one, for even thinking about setting that bar so high, because you think of yourself as someone who's worthy enough to achieve that. But two, continue to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace as you continue this race called life. And you get one day at a time, one moment at a time, 1 hour at a time. Show up for yourself. Continue to give yourself that compassion, but most importantly, give yourself that grace. You deserve it. You deserve to give yourself grace. No,
I agree with you.
Grace all 2024.
Yeah.
Grace all 2024.
I think that, like, is not only the beginning of the year, right? Because like you might want to introduce new things into your lifestyle. There's things you want to level up with, right? Whether it's like being consistent in whatever new habit you want to introduce or achieving.
Saving, financial
I,
savings. People
I was
start that.
I was literally just going to say saving, right? So like we go back to the planning, but if you find that you've gotten distracted over time, right? It's like the losing weight, you get distracted maybe 3 weeks into January. You start saving money, something comes up, whether it's a personal emergency or something that you want to go do, so you spend your money and you kind of fall off track. It's more about also kind of checking in with yourself. In different pockets within, like, let's say even the quarter, right? The first quarter of the year, the second quarter of the year, et cetera, et cetera. Checking in with yourself to say, okay, am I still aligned? And that's like keeping yourself accountable. Not only keeping yourself accountable, but maybe holding your circle accountable if you have one, or even if it's that one other person, or if you don't have someone, like implementing ways to keep yourself accountable, setting reminders in your phone to check in every 6 weeks where you are with your saving, how you're going to realign if you do tend to fall off a bit from your goals, and the tactics, not just the goals, because as you said, you can be setting these wishes, but like, what are the actual steps? Okay, I kind of fell off on this step. I kind of fell on this step. You know what? Let me pick back up on this, give myself grace, but like pick back up and then start again. And, just trust the journey. My kids played sports, and the coaches always say, trust the journey, trust the journey. And it kind of comes like a cliche when you keep hearing these things. But then when you see the progress, and you don't even realize you're trusting the journey, you see the progress, you've added balance in your life. So you're doing a little bit what you need to get to where you want to go, but you're also giving yourself scheduled grace, not just grace after you feel like you've kind of fell back on your plan, but like scheduled, intentional grace. Then when you look back, you're like, oh, damn, look how far I've come, right? You look at that journey. So, yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I love that scheduled grace. I love that. That was sweet.
Yeah.
Scheduled grace.
We don't think about it, right?
We don't. I've never even heard it in that type of concept before, in that delivery. And I think it was packaged well. Scheduled grace. Like, I absolutely love that. But I think you hit on like that last talking point that we were going to discuss, and it was seeking community and support. And you just talked about it. Who's going to hold you accountable? Where are those areas in your life that you're going to be able to set realistic goals or have these intentions, and who's going to also value those same things with you and for you, that's going to help you get to where you want to be when it comes to that. And you said it could be family, it could be friends, it could be a community. Like, we have our own accountability group. So different aspirations that you have for yourself, you need to be able to identify what type of environment do I need in order to be able to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish, to evolve into the person I want to evolve into, to be able to reach this higher version of myself. And I think that is what we really need to be focused on when we're going into 2024 and we want to curb anxiety, is really realizing what intentions do I have for myself, how do I want to evolve, and who also values these things that's going to help me get to where I want to get to, and create that environment or foster that environment that makes me feel excited and empowered to achieve those goals. And I think that is the biggest gem, in addition to this scheduled grace, that you're going to need in order to curb anxiety in the new year.
I think when we talk about who's going to be there to support and foster, we also need to look at who we need to let go of in order to foster that environment, right? What we need to let go of. I think we need to make conscious decisions, and that alone can cause a different type of anxiety. Losing friends, breaking up with that partner, taking a step back from family, like all of these different things can also increase the anxiety. So it's like another distraction. Damn. But when you are thinking about, we always talk about pouring into ourselves and loving ourselves. When we start thinking about these things, you need to be honest. Like, how do you feel when you come back from that gathering? Right? Not only depleted because your energy, we're not talking like everything is energy, but like, well, yeah, actually, let's go there, because if you're feeling depleted after because you've exerted that energy, or you feel like you've taken on energy, all right, maybe you cut back or take a step back on those engagements, or take less of those engagements until you see you are where you're a little closer to where you're trying to go, right? If you need to let go of that friend, you feel like they kind of say certain like backhanded comments. So it kind of feels like, yeah, I know you were joking, but like when you're joking, how much of that joke is real? You know what I'm saying? Like those little things. And then sometimes, maybe it's not necessarily cutting back, but it's more like correcting the behavior. So having that conversation with that friend, with that family, with that loved one, because you do care about them, and you maybe are not ready to take a step back, but saying, hey, when you say those things, you make me feel XYZ. Hey, I know you were joking when you said that, but like you constantly hit that joke and it kind of like jabs me. And the more you say it, the more jabs I feel. So I just really need you to realize that those type of things hurt. And like, because when we think about these external factors, they're emotional. And those emotional things will drain us. And that drain will attribute to us not doing things. And if we're not doing things, we're not hitting our goals. So we can't just talk about, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to change how I eat. I want to go run. I want to journal. We got to talk about the things that are hitting us emotionally, that are emotionally draining us, in addition to, let me cut back on my carbs. You know what I mean? Like, those are the things we got to be real with yourself and how you're going to love yourself.
And not to take back from something that you just said when you say, you're going to lose some people, or you might have to cut certain people off, because we're talking about creating
we'll take a step back, not necessarily,
or just creating some space, maybe just creating some distance, because you need to create the best environment for you in order for you to serve your higher self. I think the best way to approach that, or the mindset to have, is I'm choosing me. And I'm choosing me is what means this is what's going to make me healthy, happy, and free. So I have to choose me. It's not about the person you're distancing yourself from. It's not about the family that you're distancing yourself from. It's still about you. So the decision that you're making for you is because you need to be healthy, happy, and free. And there are things that you need to do for you right now. And you have to be your number one person. You have to be your number one priority. And if you're not, you're going to always have this struggle with trying to make hard decisions when it comes to other people that have nothing really to do with you and you first. So like you said, it's definitely going to be a distraction. It's definitely going to be a challenge. I'm not saying it's not going to, it's going to be easy, but at the end of the day, remember to remind yourself that you're doing this for you in order to be healthy, happy, and free. And in order to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself, to be a higher version of yourself, because you need you. So at the end of the day, and you're curbing anxiety for the new year, don't forget that you need you in the new year.
I would add on to that, Jovonnie, and say, like, also check yourself. Like, if you are if you are that person, if your friend is taking a step back from you, if you are feeding that, like you're exerting that energy that might have that negative connotation, even if you don't intentionally mean to, right? Check yourself. Are you doing those? I don't always want to use like the word toxic, but if you're doing those little things, right, that can add to them taking a step back, and you don't necessarily understand why, maybe they're tired of taking on that energy from you. So if you see somebody taking a step back, just kind of respect the space. Crystal put in their release, and like, let it go. and give them the space, and then do like a mild check-in every once in a while, but check your behavior, right? Like how that is. So you are also doing things with the right energy externally.
Great. I'm with you. I think that's a great place to end it. I think so.
Okay.
I loved it. I felt like it. I mean, it's a release. We're releasing.
Yeah.
It's a release. I'm with it. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it was good.
Yeah, I do too as well. And I like that we are having these type of conversations that are a bit on the deeper level, because sometimes it's not easy to not only talk about, but it's sometimes you don't recognize that you could be the one. Like when you're growing up, parents tend to say, oh, the kids, it's the friends that are influencing my kids. It's the homie. Sometimes it's the child. It's your child. So sometimes it could be us, right? So kind of like checking in with, wait a minute, what did I just do? Oh, wait, she's taking a break. Oh, he's taking a break. Wait, what kind of energy am I exerting? Right? Because I'm in this like weird mindset with maybe some negativity, with maybe some self-doubt, am I like pushing that onto people? Am I gossiping a lot? Like, what am I putting out? Am I just sour on the inside? So, just release some of that within yourself as well.
I got you.
Yeah, boo.
It works.
All right.
You ready? You want to go? You want to go first this time? You want to tell the people where you at? One last time for the
live in the studio. That's where I'm at.
You're in the creative space.
In my creative space that has no name. The spot. I'm in the spot.
Okay.
Right. All right. So you can follow me on YouTube and TikTok at Blackprint, blackprint.com, blackprint.com, as well as on Instagram and Facebook. It's blackprint.ca. And of course, Voices and Vibes, because we are always amplifying our voices. And it's always a vibe.
It's always
Jovonnie,
it's
go
always
girl.
a vibe. It's always a vibe. I'm gonna start with the vibes. So Forward Vibrations. That's the brand. You can follow Forward Vibrations on Facebook, as well as Instagram, _Vibrations, and TikTok. But the podcast, I am the host of Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives. The podcast is on all podcast distribution channels. So pull up, tune in. They drop every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So plug into the podcast, like, comment, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, do the doggone thing. But it's all about healing through the transformative power of food, as well as Forward Vibrations 2347 here on YouTube. We here rocking and rolling. I'm also the healthy habits and lifestyle coach. So if you are trying to embrace a new lifestyle, you're trying to create some healthier habits, the My Healing, My Journey program might just be for you. You can check me out, send me a message. The link is in the description of this video, as well as a free plant-based guide if you're trying to get some more nutrients in, some more fruits and vegetables, some different alternatives. That guide is linked as well. And then I am a thriver. Okay, I am a polycystic ovary syndrome thriver, stage 4 endometriosis conqueror. So if you were looking for a comprehensive healing guide, it's down in the description, free as well. So y'all, let's just keep living well and just keep vibing with me, y'all.
Yeah, I love it. Jovonnie, before we break, because something I forgot to say.
Before we break,
something I forgot to say, and I didn't hear you say it either.
Okay,
girl,
talk to me.
What episode you dropped this week so they can tune in, and I'm gonna tell them what I didn't get to drop that's coming out tomorrow. So go, girl.
So I feel like I dropped episode sweet 16 on yesterday. So episode 16, the last one in this first year of even creating 2023. You got 16 episodes out of me 2023, and I'm so grateful. It's only up from here. So yeah, episode 16 dropped yesterday. How many you got? Shireen?
I just had to go check. I was like, damn, she got 60. Where am I at? All right. So I love that you ended like that. This is going to be tomorrow because I was supposed to drop. I drop on Tuesdays at like, I think 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So subscribe, all that great stuff there. And definitely on all your streaming platforms. But I am dropping the part 2 of Black Woman in Excellence. When I just started out podcasting, I think she's my second episode I've ever done. So if you go back to episode number 2, I didn't want to release like a whole hour. So I only released like 20 minutes of the interview. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. So part 2 is rolling out in episode number 17.
Hey!
I'm so excited.
Good job, Shireen.
Right. I'm so excited that it's episode 17 because if you're into numerology, 7 + 1 is 8, and next year is an 8, and 8 stands for abundance. So anyhow, let me not go too deep in it, but I'm so excited. We're going to have a fabulous year. We are curbing anxiety. We in the studio mashing up all the merch, but that just means coming up.
Baby, it's coming out, getting ready to drop like this new year ball. Ow. Yes.
Thank you for joining us. I guess
we'll see. And y'all, this one last thing, Shireen, because we're talking anxiety. Mental health is real. Mental health is real. So talk that talk. Find people that you truly can trust. Because you're not alone. Don't ever feel like you are alone. But give yourself that scheduled grace to tap in and get a little bit more love from whoever you need to get that love from. But mental health is real. So don't suffer in silence. Talk that talk.
And we may not be professionals. We are speaking from our experiences. We are speaking from our opinions, our point of views. So we hope it's helpful. And if there's anything that you want to hear from us from a health standpoint, because this is Herbal Thursdays. It's where we talk about
Tea Thursdays.
Herbal Tea Thursdays. This is where we talk about wellness topics within our lifestyles. Feel free to drop that in the comments of the previous videos. Jovonnie and I will tap in and let you know. But tune in next Thursday, 2024, for our first episode coming out in the new year, where we be stunting on you.
Man, we love y'all. Love and light. Be easy.
All right. Take care. Good night.